Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Review Rewind, where I take a look at films from the 80s that I hold near and dear and maybe you forgot. Today we're definitely going to be looking at a classic. As you can tell by the ring light in my glasses here, and I do apologize for the reflection, but I am trying out a new ring light. Hopefully it'll help some of the lighting, but we'll give it a shot, see what happens. Let me know what you think of the ring light down below. But anyway, that being said, let's get into it. Today's classic that we are going to be taking a look at is Dirty Dancing, the 80s seminal film from 1987 starring Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey. And what I have in front of me and what I have is the Blu-ray, the 20th anniversary Blu-ray, the VHS, and the stunningly beautiful, honestly I think one of the best steelbooks I've seen in quite a while, the Dirty Dancing steelbook right here. I do love this steelbook. Let me show you it real quick, just to give you a hint on what it looks like. Alrighty, there you go. Try to cut that glare down a little bit. You have the slip cover, which is nice. It shows you out, highlights it, but you take it off, it's just a stunningly pretty fucking steelbook. You flip it over, you have the silhouette of the famous lift. Open that up nicely. You have, that's what it looks like there. You flip it over. You do have the kiss scene from when they were singing Love is Strange. You know, come here, lover boy. That one. You have the 4K. You have the Blu-ray. That's just stunning. I do love that steelbook quite a bit. I did check this out. That is what I'm reviewing, is the steelbook. And it's definitely worth a pickup if you haven't already. Now, Dirty Dancing holds a little special place in my heart, as this is one of the last movies that my mother and I went to see in the theaters. She was a fan of Patrick Swayze. I forget what she saw. I think it was on North and South, the miniseries that aired on ABC at the time. She was a big fan of him, and she really liked the music, some of it that she heard, so she wanted to go to the theaters and see it. And of course, me being 14 at the time, I'm like, sure, Mom, let's go check it out. We did. She was slightly embarrassed by some of the dancing and stuff in it. I enjoyed it. But like I said, she was a little embarrassed by it. Years later, like I said, we picked it up and rented it on the VHS. At my local video store. It was called Rent-A-Flick. We did rent the VHS. This is not the one, obviously, that I rented. It would be cool if it was, but it's not. You do have the Dirty Dancing tape right there. I did enjoy this film, but anyway, the 4K that we watched is stunningly pretty. The colors really do pop. They did a lot of nice work on that. The music sounds very good coming through my soundbar, which is a ONN. Yes, a Walmart brand one. But it has the Dolby Atmos. It can play Dolby Atmos, and it sounded really good coming through those speakers. The songs popped. You could sing along with them. It was great. The plot itself holds up quite well. Basically, Baby goes to the Adirondacks, the Catskills, a lodge there for the summer. Meets Johnny, who she just finds intriguing. He's the bad boy, and her, being the always good girl, obviously is attracted to him. And through a series of events, we find out that Johnny's dance partner, we find out at some point that they were dating at one time, but not in a long time, becomes what they quote unquote in trouble, meaning she becomes pregnant. She goes to have an abortion, and due to a botched abortion, they have to include Baby's father, and this sets up the issue between Baby, who's always been held way above everything else on a pedestal by her father, is now brought down to basically being just another person. She's human. She makes mistakes, and he never saw her like that. He saw her as this perfect person who never made mistakes, always made the right choices. But Johnny and Baby are in love, or at least that kind of love you have in situations like that, where maybe it's not true love, but it's the love in the situation and an attraction. They go and do things. Baby tries to help out by filling in for his dance partner. A very quick and kind of convoluted theft part comes in about wallets being stolen, which gets pinned on Johnny, and that was kind of convoluted and kind of useless, really, in the grand scheme of things. They could have just done anything to make it so Johnny resigned or stepped away. They could have just made it that because he hooked up with a guest or something. So that whole little thing there was kind of useless to me and really always has been. Really, the shining part of this movie is the soundtrack, number one, which the songs are still catchy. You can still sing along. And the chemistry between Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, which come to find out is kind of funny in that they never really liked each other on the set. There's a lot of conflict between them, but that was mostly due to, now that we hear back, due to Patrick Swayze, who was a trained dancer, had a hard time with Jennifer Grey, who wasn't a trained dancer and kept messing up and didn't seem to catch on as fast as he thought she should. So they had a lot of disagreements there. Later on, we find out that they did become quite good friends, right up until Patrick Swayze's death, which Jennifer Grey seemed to have taken quite hard. Unfortunately, they did go on to make a sequel and a reboot to this. The Havana Nights, which I just didn't care for. It wasn't Dirty Dancing. It wasn't the plot to this movie that made it attractive. It was the chemistry between the two. And when you don't have them two carrying on the story, people tended not to care. And that was even more proven by the reboot, which starred Abigail Breslin. And Abigail Breslin, who I do think is quite a good actress, and I do enjoy in quite a lot of her movies, didn't fit the part of Baby. She just wasn't there. And that chemistry, again, was not there in the reboot. Patrick Swayze has a couple of good little quick one-liners that make you laugh. Jennifer Grey starts to come out of her shell and really start to defend herself and stick up for herself, even when being talked to by Johnny about how bad she's messing up. She sticks up for herself, talking about how she's there to save his ass, and what she wants to do is put him on it. And she finally defends herself, where before she would have been very quiet and meek. Now she's more assertive and takes control. And that's another thing, is you get to watch Jennifer Grey's, or Baby's, growth throughout this film. Really, there's not a lot more to be said about this film. We've all seen it. If you haven't, you really should. It is really an 80s movie that holds up quite well, which can't be said for every 80s movie. But you should check it out. See what you think. Let me know what you think down below of Dirty Dancing, what you think about it, if you have seen it, if you haven't. But definitely tune in. All in all, I do give Dirty Dancing a 72 out of 100, a 7.2 out of 10. Definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth picking up. Maybe not on 4K, but definitely pick it up on your $5 DVD Blu-ray bin at your local Walmart. Pick it up. It should be added to your collection. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching this whole video. Feel free to click that subscribe button. Help us grow this channel. Click that bell to send peace, love. See ya.